Hey, this is Victor Antonio, and welcome to another episode of the Orkin Red Zone. Today, we have Nick Kiekens. Did I get that right, Nick?
Oh, yeah. You got it right.
Did I nail that? What's happening? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I had a good week, nothing interesting, but just a good week in general. Where are you based out of, by the way, Nick?
I live in Spring Grove, Illinois. It's a very small town, about 5 minutes outside of Wisconsin. But Chicago is a simpler format, I guess you could say, for anybody else who has no idea where Spring Grove's at.
Yeah, I'm from Chicago, and I don't even know where Spring Grove's at. So,
Yeah.
it must be, is it north or south? Must be north.
North. It's way north. Yeah. I could throw a football to the Wisconsin border. So,
Oh, wow.
we're
Okay.
that
So you're
close.
almost a cheesehead.
Yeah, we're not going to go there. Yeah, no, we're even close to being a cheesehead.
All
Absolutely
right,
not.
man. No, we're not doing that, Victor.
Ride and die Chicago. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. Hey, Nick, I want to talk today about, get into some Orkin products and services, but I wanted to ask you, like, how did this come about? How did you become part of Orkin? Give me a little, the story of Nick.
I worked at another company for almost 10 years. I was a regional manager there. I moved my way up in the company over that time. My wife and I used to live out in, when we got married, we had a house out in Boone County, which is, way west. Anyhow, but we wanted to move back towards McHenry County, which is the county we live in now. And the company that I was with for just about 10 years wouldn't work with me on moving. And so I started looking for jobs out this way and was looking, and nothing was really coming across the plate. So Orkin came across, and it was in the town that I wanted to be in, and it had the pay opportunity I wanted to take. So I said, okay. I was a little nervous because I'd never done anything commission wise or mainly commission wise. Everything's been salary for me or hourly. So I just applied, and the manager at the time that interviewed me, I thought he was great. The vibes were great as soon as I came in, and then I just I gave it a shot. So, okay, here we go. Here's my opportunity, and let it rip.
Talk to me. By the way, this is fascinating. Talk to me about the mindset. You just kind of mentioned it, of going from salary to commission, because that's a change in mindset and expectation. Walk me through, like, how you got through that.
It was tough, very tough, because I was so used to getting a guaranteed paycheck on top of a little bonus every single month, which was really more like a carrot on a stick at that last company. But it was, I had everything locked down for budget wise and what we were able to afford and what we were able to do. But I knew I wanted to make more money. I wanted different opportunities. So I'm a hard worker. I give 110% in everything that I do. So I knew that I was going to make it work some way or somehow. But funny enough, though, when the first few months I got into Orkin, I actually almost ended up quitting because it was tough, and I wasn't really making what I thought I was going to be making. And by the blessings of my regional sales manager, he worked through it with me, and I got past the hump, and I talked with another employee that used to be here that had the same charisma as me, and basically taught me that I can just be myself. And once I started being myself, it really opened up, and we were off to the races. But the first transition was difficult. I mean, we had some real tight times for a few months, and it was a blessing for my wife with the job she had at that time, we were able to squeeze by and make sure bills were paid. Yeah.
So she had to be the first person you had to sell this idea on, I take it.
Victor, I don't know how she puts up with me, because she is the most supportive person ever. I mean, she was like, go for it. Give it a shot.
Wow.
What's the worst that could happen?
Okay.
It doesn't work out. We find something
She's a
different.
keeper.
Yeah. I mean, she was never against it at any point in time. And she encouraged me, and she said, why are you doubting yourself? In fact, when I thought I was going to quit a few months in, she about slapped me. She said, that's not you. You don't quit. You're not a quitter. You've never quit at anything you've ever done. So she said, you get back out there and you give it your all. And I said, okay.
Who is she? Who is this woman?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing though, to have somebody like that in your corner. And then you also mentioned, your regional manager. Tell me about that, his, I guess, input into all this.
I mean, I don't even look at him as a manager, really. He's more of a mentor for me at this point. He's helped me through a lot personally,
Is he still with Orkin, by the way?
oh, 100%, yeah,
Oh, give
yeah,
him a shout out.
yeah. Cliff Brown, he's the
Yep.
greatest artist I'm out there. Uh, he's helped me through everything, and he's a great manager. He's a great person, very knowledgeable, very, 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 very good at what he does. Um, but he helped me through everything and get through it.
I don't mean to cut you off, Nick, but I really want to get this because I think it's important. Like, how did he help you? There's other managers out there who probably might learn from this, and say, okay, this is how I can help. So, I
He,
want to get your full perspective. So, take as long as you need.
he really cares about people. He cares about seeing you be successful. He knew what he needed that he never got when he started as a inspector, and he gave that to the inspectors coming in, everything that he never received that he knew was needed to learn. But on top of that, he's never not returned a phone call, never not answered his phone or a text from me. And he does that for everybody. I mean, he literally, just gives the shirt off his back for anybody that's willing to make this a career and put everything into it. So, I mean, we've had long, extensive conversations over the phone.
Nick, I want you to give me that. He's there, he helps. Like, put me in that scenario. I said, Victor, I was going through this, couldn't get this, whatever that. And then he comes in and here's what we do. He says, Victor, we're going to do, you know what I mean? Walk me through that.
Okay, so it started at the point when actually when I to be quite frank, when I first met him, I thought this guy's not a very nice person. I mean, he comes off just kind of blunt. He's very melancholy. He's just very straightforward. And it's just, I'm a very chirpy, fun guy, like to, have great conversation. And he just never came off that way. And, he always told me, we need help, reach out for help, reach out for help. And I never did that because I was so used to doing things on my own from my last company. Finally, I started struggling a little bit. I reached out to him for help. He was helping me out. But when I was thinking about quitting, instead of his biggest help to me was actually telling me I needed to go out and ride with this employee that's no longer here, but she had the same charisma as myself. She was a great, great salesperson, and she opened my eyes actually to me being me, and said, you need to stop trying to be somebody else. You need to be yourself. And as soon as I did that, things really took off. And then so from there, then Cliff and I started having more extensive conversations about where do I want to be at in this company? How much money do I want to be making? I mean, I have a very detail oriented brain. So it just, and he has a very simplistic mindset. So he's taken hours and hours and hours of his time for us to have deep conversations about, how I do as an inspector, I'm looking to put myself into leadership at some point. I am in leadership currently right now, my branch, and he's helped me. How do I project myself as a good leader to other people? And we've just, he's always told me to take care of your family, make sure you're taking care of your family. I mean, I have a 2-year-old and we have another one coming in about a month. And so
Congratulations.
thank you. So it's hard to really wrap around the full detail of conversations that we've had. We've had so many. He's never one to just kick you off the phone. I mean, he'll sit there and what I can say the most, he's a great listener. He listens to understand and not to respond to you. He listens to understand where you're coming from and know how to digest it. And he's always got a purpose behind what he's doing. And he's always he knows what direction he can put you in. And if you're willing to give 110% into this company and turn it into a career, he's going to turn around and mirror that for you. And like I said, we've had so many extensive conversations. It's hard for me to really pinpoint an exact moment, but I never actually shared with him that I was thinking about quitting originally because, I don't want to share that with a manager thinking, hey, I'm thinking about quitting. It's like, all right, well, kick you to the side kind of thing. But I did share that with him later on down the road, when things were going well, and he was, you know, giving me all the help. I mean, I would call him up at 7:30 at night. The guy would answer his phone. I'd FaceTime him 30 times throughout the day, going around a home doing inspections and questions, or while I'm with the customer. And I mean, he's just always been there. And if he wasn't able to answer the phone, he'd always text back 2 minutes. I'll call you back. He's never not ever called or texted me back ever. Never.
I love it.
He
Yeah.
he's
I don't want to put any words in your mouth, but do you felt like you always had your back?
always.
I
Yeah.
think that's a good thing. I want to go back to something you said. He made you do a ride along with some other Orkin pro. You kind of alluded to her, and she said, you're only going to be successful if you can do it the way you do it. Be yourself. Is there any way that you can maybe add some flavor to that? What did that mean to you, and how did you change?
Yeah, so when I first got here, and a lot of instructors probably realize this, you take a lot of classes, you do some ride-alongs to understand what the job is all about, and you learn a ton of information. It can be very overwhelming. And so when I got out there, I had all this information in my head, thinking, man, I this is great. I've got all the info. Now I just need to go give all this info to the people that I'm going to go out and service. And so I got out there, and I was just jamming all this information about bugs and rodents and yada yada yada. And I was like, man, this is great. Nobody cares about that. They don't care about all the nitty gritty of like how an ant works or why mice are coming or like they don't care. They want to know, do they have a problem? Can you fix my problem, and what's it going to cost? Like that's their main points. And I was trying to be too corporate-y, too Mr. Knowledge Man over here, and I just wasn't like opening up as me. And like, I like to goof around. I like to joke with people. I like to make funny little comments to kind of put smiles on people's faces. Like I'm just a very personable guy. And I wasn't doing that. So I was thinking, man, what's wrong? I don't understand. I'm
Yeah.
addressing their issue. I'm giving them the information they need to know.
Going through the checklist. Why is
Yeah,
this
going
not
through the
working?
checklist. What the heck? And God, I made a few sales, but they probably just bought from me to shut me up. Like really, it's probably what happened at that point.
So what
But
was the moment? What was the moment that you go, there it is?
well, so I went out with this. Her name was Jenny, and I went out with her for 3 days, and she had the exact same personality that I do. Very charismatic, very likes to joke around, likes to have good conversation with her customers, makes them laugh, yada yada yada. And I was like, oh man, I didn't realize that I could just do that. Like I thought I had to be so professional, and not to say that she was unprofessional, but she was professional, but in her own way. I went back the day that I got back into my area, and the first family I went to, I just turned it around, and I sold $20,000 at the house, and
Wow.
I sold
Wow. Wow.
$80,000 that month, and I've
Yeah.
never sold anything less than $80,000 in a month ever since then.
So you got to, okay. So walk me through this. This is really good. Okay. You've had the 3 days with Jenny on the block, we'll call her, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
now you're like, oh, I can do it my way. All right. And so now you're about to go, knock on that first door at that first visit for the first time with walk me through what you went through at that moment. Like, cause you're about to walk in the door and be you for the first time.
I threw everything else out the window. Everything before that I was trying to do that I thought was impressive and cool, I threw it out the window. I walked in, I
Right.
said, "My name's Nick. How are you doing today?" This is, I pet their dogs. I had a great conversation with them. I said, "Yeah, you got Mickeys and Minnies in your house." I mean, they basically brought Disney World to your home. And
Mhm.
that's just exactly how I had, and they all laughed, and they knew it was a serious situation. And I said, don't worry, your house is not falling apart completely, but we can help fix the areas that are allowing things to get in. I mean, I just had great conversation with them. They thought I was wonderful. We sat down. I went through our plans and how we do billing, and they were right on board. And I was like, wow. I was like, and I could be me the entire
Yeah.
time. I was
Yeah.
me. I was having a
Were you
wonderful.
having like an out of body experience as you were having that first
Little
conversation?
bit. Yeah, a little
Okay.
bit. So I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to just be me. I just want to have real conversation. I didn't realize I could just do that for some reason. I don't know why it didn't click, but everything clicked. And like I said, from that day, this was probably I know exactly what month it was. It was February of 2020, because I started in October of 2019. So February of 2020, It was my $80,000 a month,
Mm.
and I have never sold less than $80,000, and I've not sold anything
Wow.
less than $80,000 to $100,000 ever since that month.
I'm projecting now. Okay. There's the projecting that you went home, you told your wife, Eureka, I figured it out. To which she probably said, yeah, I knew the answer all the time. You should have been that from day one. Did she say something like that?
See, well, it's funny. I came home, I was like, man, I made this huge, like, so like, it's still great getting sales now, right? But
Yeah.
I sell so consistently and so often now. It's just a matter of like now not to say wasn't looking at helping the customer
Mm,
before, but now it's like, I have different aspirations for where I want to be.
mm.
So it's just like, how much can I cram in at this point? But at that point,
Right.
it was like the ticker just kept going up. Like I would come home and be like, oh, I sold $5,000 today. I sold 20,000. Hey, I'm at 70 grand now. I'm at
Mhm.
75,000. I'm at $85,000. I remember it was like, I think a month or 2 months later, I hit $100,000 in a month. And it was like the best thing in the world because I was
Mm.
like, I can't believe I just hit $100,000 this month. And at the time we were staying with her folks for about a year while we were in between houses because we literally
Oh,
packed
wow.
up, sold the last house, moved back to McHenry County, which is the town we want to be in. I started this new job. We moved in with her folks, and and we stayed there. And so her family, they made a cake and everything on it with a hundred
Oh,
K on the
man.
middle and like I
That's
was so
cool.
excited. It was like and then and then she was like, "Oh my
Mm.
gosh." I knew I think she was playing me off. She's like, I didn't think you'd be, doing that well or whatever. And it just kept pushing me even more to want to
Wait
do.
a minute, who said that? The mother or the family?
No, so my wife said that, but it wasn't in the way of like, I didn't think you could do it. It was more of like in shock and awe of like, wow, holy cow. I can't
I knew
believe
you
you're
could do it,
doing.
but
Yeah.
dang.
Yeah. But dang. Yeah, exactly. And so and it just kept going and going ever since that. And then this girl was this that helped me, really show my true colors. She still hung around for a while, but we would talk all the time.
Mm.
She was my homie. She was my best
Yeah.
friend at that point, and we would talk and exchange conversation and role play with each other. And and then Cliff and I talk daily still, and we kind of had like this little trio gang with some of our top performers that
Mm.
really really wanted to excel, and we would just anybody who wanted to learn, we just jumped in, we learned, we role played. I mean, anybody who really wanted to excel their
Mm.
levels. So uh and I'm always one that wants to learn more. I always want to do better. I always want to be the best. I don't like being beat. I like beating everybody. That's just my mindset.
Mm.
So and we had several people in our region at that point that had that same mindset. So I just kept cooking and cooking and cooking. And I'll tell you what, Victor, we stayed with her folks for about a year.
Mm.
When we got married, she brought in about $80,000 worth of loans from
Mm.
college. We had
Mm.
probably about $6,000 or $7,000 worth of credit card debt. And before we bought our house, we were completely debt free.
Wow.
We were
Wow.
able, we were able to pay off everything, and we had a massive down payment for the house we were moving into.
Ah, the
I
American
mean,
dream, man. The American dream.
it was
Congratulations again, man.
it was
That's
awesome.
wonderful.
It
What
was
I'm
good.
excited for you going forward, if I again project one more thing, is that you had Cliff as a great, as you say, mentor,
Mhm.
which means now you have almost, I don't want to say a roadmap, but you have a good idea of what it's going to take when you're now in that position in the future. Do you know what I mean? It's like you have this archetype in your head of how
Yeah.
you should be. Would you agree with that?
100%. I mean, I'm not trying to predict what's gonna happen in the future, and,
I'm predicting
go
for
for
you, man. You're going to move up,
go
man. You're going to make.
yeah, I mean, predict. I mean, I don't like to count the egg, eggs
The
before they
chickens.
hatch or whatever that saying is, but
Yeah.
whatever I'm blessed with in the future, if I do am able to get moved up into a leadership role, which is my aspiration. I wanna help people. I wanna help people grow and learn, but people need a mentor. People need to be everybody needs to be managed differently.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different learning style, learning curve, and sometimes people just need to be heard. You just need to like I said earlier, what he does is listen, understand, and not to respond.
Mhm.
And if you do that, you'll truly understand where people are coming from and know how to help them the best. And
Great line.
I have a few coworkers now that call me just to talk. We just talk. We talk through things and help them get over the hump. And I don't know. I just love helping people, and that's what I like to do. And hopefully, I can bring that into a further career with working.
Yeah, I think that's a good ethos to have, is that you're not trying to sell people on things. You're just trying to help them with their biggest investment, right? In this case, if it's residential, it'd be a house. I want to ask you about some of the things you do technically, because I want to get into some of that. I want to start with, let's start with bundling. I want to start there. Talk to me about your mindset about bundling and why. What I've noticed is some people hesitate to bundle because they're afraid to lose a deal, afraid the customer might say no. Give me your philosophy on bundling, and then what are some of the things you do that improve the chances of closing a deal or sale when you bundle?
I mean, first of all, if you're not bundling, you're missing out 100%.
Mhm.
If you're just shooting off one-off prices to people, um, you're missing out on a ton of opportunity, not only for yourself and money wise, but to helping the customer correctly and taking
Yeah.
care of their own properly. So with bundling, I mean, it's just a matter of putting together multiple services to accomplish a certain task. So, when I meet with a customer, I mean, as we just stated earlier, I want to help fix your problem. I'm not worried about where the money lies or anything of that nature. I just want to help fix your issues. And
Yeah.
wherever that dollar amount plays out later, we'll figure that out. But I just want to help fix your
Dude,
issues.
by the way, I love the way you just said that. Don't mean to interrupt. I love it. I want to help you first, and then wherever the money lands, that's where it's going to land, and we'll go. That's another conversation. But let's focus on the problem. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be weird to say this, but I kind of have an I don't care attitude when I walk in, and not in that I don't
I get
care,
it.
but I do care because like
I
I'm a
get it.
very genuine person. Like really just want to help you. And I think a lot of my success has come from that because people sense that and they see like he's not trying to just sell us BS, and he really
Yeah.
wants to help solve the issue. So when I meet with people, I ask them, "What do you want me to accomplish from my inspection today? What can I help with the most? What do you want the end result of our services to be for your home?" And based on how that conversation goes, it tells me exactly what I need to do and everything that needs to be done to take care of your problem. And so if you're telling me I don't want rodents coming into my house, okay, well, all the different ways that rodents are coming into your home, I'm gonna propose to you those services that are needed to fix those problems. So
Mhm.
if that requires
Mhm.
2 or 3 different things, internally from maybe sealing up a sill plate and removing harboring areas to sealing up your siding and maybe sealing up some brick to fascia or whatever. I got 3 different services there now that I have to do this to accomplish what you told me you wanted to accomplish.
Correct.
If I don't get these things done, and then I put together packages for everybody. And my packages are there to accomplish certain tasks. So maybe my first package is always, always, always going to be what is it going to take to accomplish what you told me at the front door when I got here?
And if I
And
could
then
pause you there for a second, Nick, it is almost that is your responsibility to
yeah,
give them the full service to actually, because again, it's a multifaceted problem. So you got to have a multifaceted bundling solution.
yep, yeah. And if you're doing a true inspection of somebody's home, and taking a really deep looking around, you're not going to just find one issue. Like you're going to find majority of the time at least between 3 or 4 different issues up to 10 or 13 different issues going on. I mean, I have at least on average probably 7 or 8 things that I'm proposing at a customer's home at least on average when I go out. So
Wow.
my first package is always going to be what are the services needed to accomplish what you told me at the front door, and let's get that resolved. Now,
Mhm.
hey, I have 2 or I have 3 or maybe or 2 or 3 other packages possibly that I put together for you that are going to accomplish other things. We can add in this here now. Hey, solution 1, this is what it's going to take care of your problem. Solution 2,
Mm.
3, and 4, this is everything else that I also found throughout your home that'll allow me to service it properly. I can do this in this package, will help take care of this problem. This one in this package will take care of this problem, this here, and I can get everything for a low monthly investment of whatever per month.
I want to ask you an important question because I think it's so subtle. And I think because you're good at what you do, you just skip right over it, but somebody else might need this. As you're putting that first package together, let's call it the 7-item package, right? What's going through your mind? Are you worried about the bottom line price at that point? Or are you not thinking about it? Like, what's your mindset when you're presenting this? I'm trying to get a little more feel for that.
Yeah, never thinking about price. Never worried about what I don't care if it's $2,000 or $50,000 I had to propose to. If that's the amount, if the cost, that is. The biggest thing I can tell you is never, first of all, never use your own pockets for somebody's home.
Correct.
Never put your own thoughts into it with that. Never spend other people's money is really what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. And don't judge people. I mean, don't judge a book by the cover. I mean,
Mm.
I've walked into a house that, I mean, 20,000 square foot homes before. I mean, they're multi-million dollars and they don't want to spend $500 with you. You walk into a house that maybe it might be 1,000 square foot home that looks like it's about ready to blow over, and they're spending every dollar that they can to resolve the issues at their home. So you
Mm.
just have no idea that what you're walking into. I will say this much: when I first started, I was like, "Oh man, this is a lot of money here," you know? I mean, and it took me a while to get out of that mindset because I care about other people, and I'm like, man, I don't want these people thinking I'm trying to charge them a lot of money, and but I do it by the book, how it's supposed to be done based on square footage, linear footage, and how we do our business. So after a while, I had to think like, this is just my job. I'm here to help you. I have a job to do. The numbers are all just based on the size of your house and what needs to be done. And if I'm doing my job correctly and I'm offering our bundled services and I'm walking through everything with you, I've explained all the how we can help and the value of what we can do. I'm offering our billing to you the way it should be offered. Um, you have two options. We either help or we don't help, and that's up to
Yep.
you. I'm not here to make that decision for you. So I don't let price bother me even the slightest. It's really not even a thought in my mind. And I try to make new people aware of that everybody has a dollar amount that they get nervous about, until they get comfortable. I'm at that stage where it's like, I don't care what it is.
Love
I've
it.
proposed
Yeah.
80, $90,000 proposals to commercial businesses before. Just it is what it is kind of what I look at it.
Right. So you, in a sense, you compartmentalize. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean? It's I'm going to give you the value first based on what
mhm.
I found. Here's the value, and then pricing is over here. In other words, yeah, I don't know where the number is going to land, as you said earlier. And then the second aspect of what you do, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you're very matter of fact and you're not apologetic about the price.
No, not at all. I mean, I think about it, if somebody came into my house servicing my home for something, and they say, "Yep, it's going to be this, and this," and I mean, if they give me a price on something, I mean, that is what the price is. I mean, I might get another quote possibly depending on how they service me. If they came in and they broke it all down for me, saying, "Here's why you got this issue, and here's what's all going on. Do you mind if I point out a few other things for you?" And hey, listen, we are a bit pricier up front than most companies, but here's what you get out of it long term. If they really like walk through everything with me and I'm like, man, it is kind of expensive, but you know what? You did a great job. I'm probably not going to get another quote, right? But that's for me to
Right.
decide as the customer. Like, that's not for you to decide as a service person. So I try to always put myself in their shoes, thinking like, if I had somebody walk in my house, I'll make the decisions on what I'm going to spend my money on and what I deem as expensive or not. So it's not for me. Coming in trying to service your home. Let me just give you the facts and the value
Mm.
and here's how we can help. And I really just have the mindset of like, listen, either you're gonna want my help or you're not gonna want my help. Let's just make it cut and dry. And if you don't want my help, that's okay. I'll be
Mm.
out. We'll see you later. We'll talk a different time. Maybe you'll recap down the road. I have no idea, but that's okay.
It's like when you said earlier that I care, but I don't care. I
Yes.
really understood what you meant by that because
Yeah.
it's like I care. I would love to help you. I would love to close this deal, but I don't care because I'm not going to attach my ego to this deal.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help you. So
Yeah.
I get that balance. And I know we're going to be short on time here, but I do want to get to one more big question: is how has using rack, impacted your sales? And then walk me through maybe one good example.
Well, rack is the only way we do billing. I'll tell you that much, and it helps because it helps to gives that customer time to pay their bill and have a monthly investment. So when I use rack, I go through all my options and I have one price on there for people, and I say I can get everything done for as low as $400 a month. after your 90 days, I can be out here on this day to get started. And I do that for the reasoning of $400 is going to stick in that person's mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they ask me, what's the total cost of stuff? I'm not going to hide information from them. I'll give them total cost. We'll go through everything. If I'm pitching you $20,000, $400 sounds a lot better per month than $20,000 right now, right?
Right.
So $400 though is going to still stick in the back of your mind, even though you're looking at $20,000, even though 80% of our customers pay it off in the 90 days regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But I can bundle more, and I can propose more at your house based on what I'm finding, and close more really because of rack. Like, anybody who's not using rack is 100% missing out. I don't know how else to put it. It's that simple. You're going to close way more deals by using rack, because they get the 90 days. You get time to get out there and do the service, make sure they're happy, make sure that we get their quality audit done. Then they have time to pay it off within that 90 days. Or if they can't pay it all off in that time, they have a monthly investment to finish paying. And it just opens up more opportunities for us to be able to help people. I use rack all the time. I think last time I checked, I think my market share for rack is like 90%, which basically means I close, I think, 9 out of 10 people for with rack. And the only time I don't use rack is if they get declined, or if they're not the homeowner.
Gotcha.
That's the only time I don't use rack.
Out of curiosity, what would you say your average deal size went before you use rack, and then when you started using rack? What would you say your jump was in terms of average deal size?
Well, before I started using rack?
Yeah. Like before rack, I used to close about this much. I'm asking you a tough question, by the way.
You are,
And
because
then after rack, I close at this level now.
well, I've never not used rack, so let's put it that way.
I just came out of the gate, Victor, using rack.
When we do, when we start in this region, when we get trained, Mr. Cliff Brown makes it very aware.
CB himself.
Yep, you were either using rack, or you're probably not going to play here too long. And
wow.
And it's not so much we're going to kick you out. It's just you're not going to close that much. You're
Right.
not. I mean, we use rack religiously. I'm pretty sure we lead the company in rack. The region does. So everybody uses rack. I got trained on rack. All my proposals from day one since I've gone out have been all through rack. I don't know anything else outside of rack. To be honest,
I've been using this since day one, Victor. I've been trained rack.
That first.
Cliff is gonna love to hear this. You know that, right? He goes, yep.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Yeah,
my boy, right there.
Yeah, no, I'll make sure he sends my supplemental check over later for all the good words.
Can I ask you one last question? Because we got to wrap up, and I want to get you out of here so you can go do your thing. I want you to pretend for a moment that, the people that listen to this are people who are struggling. They need help. And this is a broad question. I'll let you answer it any way you want, obviously. But, what would you suggest? You said, I would suggest these 1, 2, 3 things that people should do consistently if they want to be successful. From a Nick Kiekens perspective, what would that be?
I would say number 1 is be yourself. That's huge. If you're not yourself and you're trying to be somebody else, people read through that. It's not going to come off genuine. 2, don't focus on money. Don't focus on what neighborhood they live in, what cars they drive, what they got going on in their house. Focus on just finding problems, applying solutions to those problems, and helping the customer. It's all about helping the customer. That's what it comes down to. If your main drive and focus is about helping the customer, then you'll succeed immensely. And then lastly, with helping the customer, bundle and rack. Those are the 2 big things. But bundle your services together. Don't be afraid to offer multiple solutions to solve one problem, because more than likely we're going to solve their problem way better by doing 2 or 3 different solutions together than we are going to pitch off one. And then by using rack, it opens up that opportunity for people to have time to pay their bill off, for people to have time to see our work in action, and for them to understand, like, we're not here to money grab and take your money right away. Let us get this work completed, and and then you get 90 days. And if you want to pay your whole bill off in 90 days, by all means, use that credit card, get your flyer miles. That's what I tell. I have a lot of people that want to use a credit card right away. So credit card, get those flyer miles. But I mean, Rack is going to be key to success. All the top performers in our company use Rack. So if you want to be there, you got to use Rack.
No, love it. And I wrapped that with the first point you made, and that is you got to be yourself. When you were working with Jenny, I think, that lesson you learned about being yourself, and it's okay to be yourself. I'm 100% with you that is the way to be successful in sales. By the way, before we sign off, we would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the one person who made you hang in there, which was your wife. And what is her name?
Her name is Stephanie.
All right.
And I'll tell you what, she is the biggest blessing in my life. And I've worked a lot of late nights, and I've worked a lot of long days, and she is a wonderful mother, and she is just super supportive. She has never pushed me away from being home late. She knows I'm out there working hard. She knows I like to be the best. She's just, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing without her.
That's beautiful. We're going to end on that note before I get teary-eyed, all right? Nick, thank you for your time, man. I really do appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, and for everybody else watching and listening, thank you again for joining us on the Orkin Red Zone. Take care.